In his book, Run with the Horses, Eugene Peterson explains that our relationship with God can sometimes be like an intimate meal with a close friend or a lover at a fancy restaurant. It's cozy, it's private, our attention is completely on the other person. No one else matters. Nothing else matters. When I read this, I got excited. The analogy sounded perfect. This was exactly what I wanted my relationship with Jesus to be like. But Eugene Peterson had more to say. He suggested that all too often the person across the table from us at this intimate meal is not God, but self, you, me. Yes, sure, God's there in the restaurant, even in the room itself, from time to time, but he's merely the waiter. Peterson states that you can't have dinner without him, but he's not an intimate participant in it. He's someone to whom you give orders, make complaints, and maybe, at the end, give thanks. Since reading this restaurant analogy, I keep thinking of my own story and asking myself whether Jesus and I are sitting together at the table or whether Jesus is hovering at the edges of my life, waiting for me to call him over with a request or an order. Over the years, I've shared quite a bit about myself and my family in the little notes that accompany prayer points. And I've tried to be honest about where I'm at in my relationship with Jesus, not so that I can boast that I'm doing so well or beat myself up that I'm a useless excuse for a Christian, but rather to sow into MAF a culture of honesty and accountability in terms of our spiritual journeys. We need to know that we're not alone in having good days and bad days in our relationship with Jesus. Good seasons and bad seasons even. We're okay. We're not going to lose our salvation or get kicked out of MAF if we miss our devotions one morning, 1 week, or even 1 month. That's why the theme of abiding in Jesus is appropriate, relevant, and so challenging. As the picture of the vine and branches suggests, in order to abide in Jesus, we need to be connected to the vine, we need to be dependent on the vine, and we need to continue through all the seasons. After all, it's only if we continue connected to and dependent on Jesus through all the seasons of life, not just spring and summer, that we will bear fruit. I'm guessing that some of us are in a winter season right now. We can't see the fruit, and we feel like we're only just hanging on in there. Some of us want our relationship with Jesus to be closer and more intimate, but we struggle to find time in our busy lives. Some of us are just coasting, doing okay, and don't really feel the need to go deeper. Abiding in Jesus is a choice, and a daily choice at that. If we want to abide in Jesus in all its fullness, we need to choose to sit down at the table, to take our eyes off ourselves and fix them on him. If we do, we'll find that the being with and in Jesus, not the doing for Jesus, is what pleases him most. Abiding in Jesus isn't always easy. I believe that as a community of believers, we need to be intentional about supporting each other on our faith journeys. We need to encourage each other. We need to be encouraged. I want to leave you with my encouragement from Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17, for those who really want to abide in Jesus, but sometimes fall short or stuff up. The Lord will rejoice over you with gladness. He will renew you in his love. He will exult over you with loud singing. I don't know about you, but I like the sound of that.